So piecewise graphs are actually a lot more applicable than you think, not necessarily based on, graphing them like we were doing, but they're a more realistic model for a lot of situations because most situations don't have, constant rate of change or it's a parabola exactly, things like that. So to demonstrate this, thought we'd have a little fun. Number 3, the following graphs describe some of Miss Lambert's previous relationships. Describe what you think happened. Well, besides getting personal here, let's just talk about what's important on the graph. We want to label the x and y axis. We want to figure out what this means. So let's just say this is going to be time, and let's just call this level of interest. Let's see. So maybe part A, we can see because it's starting here, things started pretty good. But after a little bit, things started to go down. Until eventually, Miss Lambert lost interest completely. We'll just call this graph K. We'll spare names, but we'll just call him K. Poor K. Which is Y in Spanish, so that's funny. All right. Anyway, there's one. Part B. What do you think happened here? Well, I'll tell you what happened here. Things were looking promising. But didn't get too far before nothing grew any further. So after a little bit, Miss Lambert lost interest. We'll call this graph P. Good old P. Good God, just wasn't meant to be, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, a way that a student put it yesterday in class, she said, things were great, and then you realized it was really boring, and so then you lost interest. I'm like, you're not wrong. Anyway, good old K, good old P. Oh, I'll name this one J. Good old J. So let's just take a look. I hope you're having a Dora the Explorer moment, and you're just telling me what you think happened in this one. What I'm hoping you can see is that this was dramatic. This is a very simplified version over 4 years, I'll tell you what. So things went really well, really fast. And then they broke up. Then they got back together. after a short break. Just to have it fall again. After a longer break, things went really well. Pretty quickly. But not as high. Since Lambert was guarded this time. But you couldn't take, this is so funny, the lack of commitment. And she let him go. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I just wrote that all down. Okay. Anyway, point is, there are very real applications of piecewise functions. Something that I do want you to know is that was left open on purpose, okay? What could that mean? Did I leave my heart open? I did. It's fine. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that insight into my life. Let's look at maybe a scenario you would get not about my relationships, huh? Okay. Okay. Draw a graph to represent the following scenario. It starts to snow in Saratoga Springs. At first the snow is falling lightly, then after about 2 hours it picks up and snows fairly heavy for the next hour. Okay, so let's just start by calling this time in hours. And let's say snow in inches. And this is going to be the amount of snow on the ground. So let's see. After about 2 hours, so let's just say changes. The snow is falling lightly. So maybe something like this. It doesn't have to be precise. But it picks up and snows fairly heavy for the next hour. So if it's falling heavier, then I would expect a steeper graph. And you can decide how steep, but I would be looking for that the second hour is steeper than the first hour. Then it stops for 2 hours. If the snow stops falling, that doesn't mean the snow that's on the ground disappears. That just means it stays at a constant rate, so it'd be pretty flat. And then it snows at a constant rate for the next 3 hours, and you can decide how fast you want that to go. So maybe it's like that. So there's another scenario. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little piecewise lesson application insight into my life.